Hey there guys, it's Kage Tact coming at you to wrap up day 2 of the Guild War season right before things kind of get ready for battle number 3. Oh, Mama Cat's here. So, a couple of things I did want to add that I missed out of the last video. One of the major ones being that the weird restriction on not being able to gain credits after Wipeout is gone. I never understood why that was in there to begin with, but apparently they realized that wipeouts happen more often than they thought, and or that it was a silly limitation, and here we are now. So, and then also I believe that coins have been adjusted in terms of attempts and killing of units as well. They've been shifted. So they've done some calibrations to the generation of tokens for the war itself, which are great. I'm still not getting full teams. I mean, day 2 wasn't a full team either. They had, I think, 29 or 30 people, but they didn't have enough register. And this seems to be more of a lower bracket, lower battlefield issue where people really aren't as committed to the league. And, as you get higher up to like 4 and 5, you're always going to fight mainly, 28 to 30 people from what I've been told. So I could see that. I could see it how it's, you're going into like Battlefield 1 to 3. You're just looking to go through the motions, get through the mode, and if you win, great. If you don't, oh well. But as you can see, with doing Battlefield 2 twice and scoring considerably well, we're still 255. We may actually get the 250 box this season if we keep on course and we keep getting the fights we're getting, which do seem to be in line with not enlistment power, but actual guild power. I've double checked on both fights. The guild power was within about a million or so. The enlistment power though was all over the place. Like the last group we fought, I think we beat them by almost 2 mil enlistment power, but that was partially because they had 5 people who sat out, didn't do the mode at all. So I don't know. I don't know how the matchmaking works. I know everybody says something a little bit different. I know some things have been said on paper, but it's like every time there's some sort of update or thing changed, I feel like things on the back end may get changed as well. So the rules may not apply anymore, which I don't have enough data for this season to go off of it. Again, I've only gotten 2 matches. Overall, guild power seems to be pretty similar. Enlistment power for the defenses definitely has varied, but that's primarily because they had people who didn't participate. So I mean, you're losing, you're losing people to fill those zones. You're getting what, 480 a defender on bots, so they get 5 defenses. You're getting less than 3k power, as opposed to if somebody was fielding a team on Battlefield 2, depending on the rarity cap, anywhere between like, 30 to 40k a team, or like 100 to 130k a team. So it's a vast shift. But overall, I do like how things are set up now. I do like the activity tracker. Again, it's been really great. It's helped push getting more tokens out of our team. Like sometimes, we would be, 40s, to 30 to 40s. Now we're pushing into like 12 or 18, and I think we could go a little bit lower than that too. So I like that I could look, see who has tokens left, and go, hey, you've got 7 left, and you've got 35 units there. I mean, realistically, I think you could push out maybe another 4 attacks. So go attack here. Cool. The other thing I noticed, and again, this is more of a lower battlefield thing, but people are just like going all over, like attacking multiple fronts as they open up. I mean, the group we fought barely took out Medbay with like 120 tokens, but they were like, as they were pushing up, they were hitting side buildings but not finishing them off, and or hitting front lines. So there was definitely a lot of disarray, and it's weird because these aren't exactly weak guilds. They are, all the guilds we've fought this season are top 500 guild rate at least. I think some are even a little bit, higher up, like 400s or so. But when it comes to actual wars, just the communication these groups have been just to their detriment, which I could see how some people could be like, man, this mode sucks. This is awful. I hate this. It's unbalanced. I mean, if you're fighting a coordinated group with max amount of people and they're pretty close or fully capped for the defenses, and you don't have any of that, you're screwed. You're in for a bad time. You're not winning. I know there's some underdog stories here or there. Uh, those don't happen. The team with 25 versus 30, and 30 has communication, and 25 is just hitting everything with a fly swatter, hoping to land a couple of wins here and there. No, it doesn't work here. This mode is not that forgiving, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing for us, but for the overall player experience, I don't know. And then people are like, well, Kagi, you're doing really well. You should go up the next Battlefield. And I'm like, yeah, I will. When they make Battlefield 3 a D1 cap, I'll go up there. I said it before. If they changed the rarity caps around, I would move up. And sure enough, we went from 1 to 2. I'm not going to go to 4. Somebody's like, you should go fight this other guild in 4. No. No. And I'm not going to trust the matchmaking system. I'm not. The matchmaking system is still in its infancy right now. There's still a lot being worked out to it, obviously. And with every change, there's going to be some new things that need to be worked on for it. I mean, again, it's worked well for us, but we've got all our ducks in a row. We're pretty well organized, and we've only had one guild beat us out of every season, and that was because we were down a man. We were still a new guild. We were at 29 to 29. We couldn't have 30, and if we had 30, we might have actually won that fight. It was pretty close. So having everybody in the guild fight and participate is kind of, a must if you want to up your odds for winning, because I don't feel like the game takes into account if you have people who just play raids and don't do anything in war. And on top of that, I get it. I get some people's complaints about the mode. The rewards aren't appealing for a lot of people. I mean, let's look at the shop right here. I mean, to me, I would probably spend more on these materials at some point if I needed them than these actual shards for these units. I already have Rotbone. I don't really use Death Leaper. I have him. I have the other guy too. So it's like, eh. So I get it. It's not very appealing to veteran players. If I'm looking at this mode, I've been here about 7 months now, and the only thing I could really want to take out of it is the materials for making units D2 to D3. I can't imagine what somebody looking at this who's put almost 2 years into this game, I think the anniversary is coming up in August, looks at this and goes, why am I doing this? What's the point? So I get that that's part of the reason why the participation is probably a bit lower. If they were to make some adjustments to these rewards, or just add more options, maybe a third row with some other stuff, with some badges or books or something, it may put more people into wanting to actually do this mode. And the alternative, the other thing that I feel like, again, needs to be reiterated, going from G1 to D3 cap, from B2 to B3, that is a stupid jump. There either needs to be a new battlefield level or something where, D1 is the next logical step. It's crazy. Yeah, most people aren't going to encounter full D3 unit teams, but the ones who do and don't have the D3 units, you've auto lost, or you've put yourself at a severe disadvantage. And you can't tell me that that wouldn't happen to somebody, because it can, and it has. So I mean, oh sure, probability's low, but that's a pretty big deficit to overcome. I don't know if that's a worse deficit than being down several people, because I have never tried to, put myself in a situation where we would fight a full D3 team in a GW situation. I don't want to. I'm not going to do that to my guys when, I have, I think, half the D3 units in my entire guild at 2. Or do I have 2? Or I don't even know how many I have anymore. Old man moment. Yeah, I have 2. And I think one guy has 1 and somebody else has 1 as well. So, yeah, no. We're not doing that. But overall, though, I do like the progress that's being made with the mode. They do need to iron some stuff out. They do need to figure some other things out as well. The other thing somebody brought up in the Discord that I could kind of agree with them on is, if you're playing in a much higher bracket, if you're in like 5, and, people in 4 probably shouldn't be outranking you if they have like I don't know, like a 4-2 win rate, and you have like a 5-1 win rate because of how close the battles are. I don't know. I mean, it's really tough, because you could literally get somebody in 5 that you absolutely dominate, double wipeout, just completely crush him, who obviously doesn't belong there, and you've now padded and elevated your score far beyond the normal scope of things, which could also happen in 4 too, mind you. So, I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, because some of that could be the system itself, and some of that is player choice issues. Again, you have people who are like, go up for the higher modes, go push for the higher battlefields. It's better rewards, and it's like, is it really better rewards? Because not by much. I mean, what, do you get a little bit more gold if you get the win box in a higher battlefield as opposed to Battlefield 2? I know you get more guild tokens if you get a win, but as I've already pointed out, guild tokens for a good amount of people, they don't really hold too much sway after you get like Rot Bone or another unit you're looking for. So it's like, why race towards your death and create additional stress on yourself for a couple extra coins? I mean, if you want to be a tryhard, you go be a tryhard. You have fun with that. But I'm going to sit back here in my nice comfy chair and just keep beating the hell out of these teams and keep adding to the win rate. We get plenty of tokens. We get plenty of rewards for everybody. And when they do make changes again, we'll see if everybody's got enough D1 units, and we'll move up. I mean, I could field a D1 team easy. I could, almost field 2 D1 teams. So, I mean, I could get to a point where I could build something. I mean, it would be the most synergy-based team here with what we have, but it would at least be something, instead of like, oh, well, you've got 2 D3 units, and you'll just throw those in there, and then your second team's a bunch of slop, and yeah, no. No, and then some guys with D3s just come in and walk all over you. Yeah, no, no, thank you. But I think that's about it for today. I haven't really had anything else to add in. I think again that a month or 2 from now we'll see a vastly different guild war. I'm hoping again to get some new buildings, some new variety. I'm kind of sad that the guards never got, like, I don't know, the guards feel really worthless. They do feel like more of a liability. But, it is what it is. Anywho, guys, let me know what you think. And if you have had any, like, decent matches, or if you had any lopsided matches, let me know what battlefield it was in. Let me know, like, what was the guild power, that you fought against, how many of them they have. I'm curious to see if this is again just kind of like the lower battlefields, or if there is some people in like the upper tiers that are just having one-sided matches, and you know, got to figure out why are these people there. Anywho, peace.